Photoshop, we're going to be learning how to create the speech bubbles on Photoshop. So, or doing dialogue. So essentially, what happens is you're gonna, you write something here, right? You got to first pick the right font, and you got to do the right spacing. So, hello, my name is whatever. Okay. Problem is you're seeing how this doesn't format correctly. Let's give it more of a comic book vibe. What happened to all my favorites? Oh, I guess they're not saved in this. Typically use Evil Genius, but let's just pick any one of these. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have an issue with that. So one of the methods to being able to do this is you can create a shape and then put a text. You see that when this gets circle, this means you can put text inside it. And now I can write whatever I want, and it's gonna constantly keep it within that parameters. And you can of course change the shape however way you want. If it's too small, it's going to go away. Now we have a big gap right here, and so what we're supposed to do is click on the paragraph, or so the properties over here. So let's talk about that. If you can't find them here, I think there's somewhere. You just put it in your help, and you'll be able to find the properties. And so we got a spacing between the two right here, so I can adjust that however way I want. Now I don't keep too much space between the wording, because as it is in comic books, you would never want to do it this way. You're going to always want to do caps lock, and now I'm making comic books. All right, so this is how you get this, right? Now here's the other issue. Let's change the background to something of some kind of color. Let's see. So generally you're going to have something with color like that, right? And you want the comic book, to sorry, got a little distracted there, but let's go ahead and start making the shape. Now, generally you're going to want to make something like this, right? We have an issue. It's not creating a white circle. So go back here and create this into a shape. Stroke, we're going to put nothing for now, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so we did that. Fill needs to be, let's say, white. You know what? I'm just going to do the stroke just so I can tell you why I encourage you not to put the strokes. Okay, so we got the stroke right there, okay? Now, of course, you can change the orientation of this and put it right in here, and we're going to put this right in there. Now, here's a problem. You see how these are touching the black lines, and you don't see that in comic books where they touch the black line. So one of your solutions is just shrink the font, but that's not a good solution, right? So the solution I like to do is I add a stroke to this, and I'm going to add a white stroke, okay? And so we're going to put it like that. Well, it still doesn't look professional, right? This looks very choppy, and usually in comic books, these outlines trace back, okay? So one solution to this is if we get both of these layers and put it in one folder, okay? And now you can call this text or word or whatever you want to call it. In fact, what I like to do is I like to keep separate folders. This is how I organize myself. You can do it however way you want. This is going to be the text. Don't judge me for my spelling. I've become very bad at spelling since, spell check and AI. Okay, so this is going to be shape. Sorry. This is going to be shape. Shapes. All right. So now we have this, okay? And so what do we do now? So we go back to our dialog, and over here, now we're going to add, because remember, these two folders with text and the shape are all in the same folder, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit over here, blending, and we're going to click on stroke. All right, that's not the stroke we're looking for. We're looking for black stroke, okay? Yeah, it still doesn't look right? I mean, let's see if, it's kind of doing, you see where the black is tracing, but there's a little bit of a problem. You know what the problem is? It's a simple solution. We weren't supposed to add the stroke. So click on the shape, click on the shape tool, go over here and remove the stroke. And now you got exactly the way you want it. All right, so now let's move to step 2. So the next step is creating a speech tail, right? So the simplest way is to just click, drag a little bit, and then connect, okay? So there you have a shape, and I think what's happened is, oh, well, no, it says no fill. All right, so what you do then is you just bring it here. You don't have to merge the layers because they're right underneath the, right there. Now, sorry, they're in the same folder. So you can click, if there's another thing here, maybe you want to not have these rounded, you want these to be sharper. So what you do is you just hit center, and when you hit center, now those are going to become sharper. It's going to look more it's going to look more like how you want it. So that's just overall how you kind of create the shapes. But realistically, there's a couple of things that we're missing here. Like, first of all, word bubbles are not like, they're not like this. So what you can do is you can click on the convert point, and you just drag this up to somewhere over here. Sure. And we do the same thing over here. Too much. And that's kind of what the shape looks like. Now, I can show you something really cool. So that's how you can make shapes. But, maybe that's not a shape you like. Okay, let's say this is a shape you like. You can save this shape so you don't have to keep on doing it. And the way you do that is you make sure you've clicked this, click on shapes, come here, and then you click on define custom shape. Okay? It's going to create something like this. So I'm going to put test shape. All right? Now guess what? You can click on this, and you can go up to the no, that's not right. Here, sorry. Custom shape tool, and then you can scroll down, and there you go. There, you found your shape. So now you don't have to recreate it all the time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You can do that with the tail too. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna go over here, make sure I have shape selected, edit, define custom shape. Where is it? Yep, there's define custom shape, tail. Okay, all right, so now you don't have to ever worry about this ever again. You can keep on adding more of these word bubbles or these shapes without any worry, okay? Now, I want to show you something really cool that if you don't want to do all that, okay, if that's just too much effort, okay, what you can do is just is bring this here and look for a comic book shape that you do like. Okay, let's say it's one of these over here. So it doesn't matter which one it is, or I mean, just for this sake, you like that shape. We're gonna bring it over here and let's copy it. Okay, so typically somebody's gonna tell you, hey, the best way of doing this is just get the tool, right, the pen tool, and start doing this or whatever, right? And I find that to take way too long. So I'm going to show you an easier way. All you do is you click the select tool, okay? And then we're going to right click here and we're going to click make work path. I'm trying to remember, is that right? Yeah. Make work path. Now, if you put a high work path, it creates way too many, it makes it way more detailed. And if we do make work path, let's see. Oh, sorry, it's the other way around. When you put a low number, it creates more detail. If you put a high number, it creates less detail as far as these dots go. You need to find something specific for the shape, because if you look over here, there's way too many dots there, or points, and that's an issue because then it becomes very choppy. So for our situation, like you'll see it here soon enough. And by the way, I'm using a new Photoshop without it being configured. So you see how it's kind of a little bit choppy. So if you want to go back here and maybe fix it up a little bit, you can do that. What is it? Command? Yeah, no. Option. Yeah, it's Option on a Mac. All right, so you kind of make it roughly to what you want this to look like, right? And then, I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this. It's just for an example. But okay, so let's say now you've created this to look like the way you want it to look like. All right, so now what you do is you just right click on this and you hit define custom shape. And we're going to say cloud. Now guess what? You can do that with any one of these, but look. So you don't have to worry about the shape anymore. The shape is irrelevant. It did its job and it's unneeded now. Now we can go back to custom shapes. And guess what? There's our cloud. Oh, I need to keep on. And you can just add as many clouds as you want. And that was pretty much how you do it. Stroke is way too thick. Okay. So if it's like there's certain kind of expressions that you really like from a comic book font or whatnot, you can use that. All right. And so that can apply to these as well. The only issue is if you do something like this, I mean, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to, we do this, let's say, and we go into make work path. Let's say I'd use 5. All right, so the best way that I know how to do this is you just kind of, because the problem is if you save this like that, your speech bubble or your tail is going to be attached to it, or the other way around. Like let's say you just want to make a speech bubble for the tail, so you can just delete all the other points, anchors. I don't know what the professional terminology for it is. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to see how to, not this one, I'm going to click on that one. See if yeah, so define custom shape, boom, call it whatever you want, tail, and now you've put that in your library right over there. Okay. And of course, in order to keep yourself organized, you can create groups. So you can, how was it that I did this? I know that you can, there it is. So you have to right click. I don't know why it's not here. It makes sense if it were to be on this side, but you just click here and you just click new shape group. Call it tails or whatever, and then just put your tails in there if you want to stay organized. If you end up getting too many, so those are some methods. And the last one, it's mainly going to be for people who have like maybe a pen or something, and they want to draw their own custom. That one's very simple. So let me just delete this. All you really do is you get the pen tool. Fill as white, and you just see. Wait a minute. No, sorry. Pen freeform. I knew I was doing something right. Wrong. See? This gets a little tricky when you have to connect it. So you can just kind of stop halfway, and that way it connects it, and then you can make the tail any way you want. You know, so it gives it more of a free form. And with this too, you can create this into its own shape. Which I know you can do that. What is it? Custom. I think this is what you do. Shoot. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. I know there is a way. Ah, there it is. I clicked it. I just didn't see it. Define custom shape, and that's the tail, whatever. So now you know all the ways to create speech bubbles and how to maneuver text around it. And then if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. This is Zane from Insane Comics.